What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CanesInSight podcast, baseball edition. As you can see here at the light, actually just left the light for one of these fall ball scrimmages. Awesome time of year. See the team come together, some of the new players, and we're going to be breaking it all down with our baseball brain trust right here. Not only the young gun, Sebastian Font, baseball insider, but the GOAT, one of the biggest supporters UM baseball has, best friends Canes baseball has, and a future major league father as well. Jim Sallah, how you doing?
How you doing, D? Hey, Sebastian, how are you?
Doing good.
You know, life is good. You know, I wanted to bring you guys on because I've been to a few fall ball scrimmages, but I did not go to the FAU scrimmage, seeing the other uniform and a little more competitive baseball. I know you guys were out there, so just wanted to kind of compare notes and talk about some of the things that we're seeing out there. It seems to me, though, that the main note at the top of all of our notepads, maybe Sebastian knew about this before we did, but first note on my notepad, first practice, same thing as you, Jim. The size of the team is just night and day.
Yeah.
What are you seeing there, Jim?
Yeah, no, I was at the scrimmage on Saturday against FAU with my son and a couple of his buddies, and we sat right next to the dugout because they like to chat with the guys when they're coming up when they're on the on deck circle. You know, then the guys are great. They fist bump the kids and stuff. It's awesome. But the difference in the size between last year's team and previous teams and this year's teams is unbelievable. I mean, all around the infield, it just is different. You know, there's no, nothing against Dorian, but you got Cuvée at third, you've got Ogden at short, you've got Sheehan, I think, was playing second. Sebastian, you were there, and the kid from FIU on first, who's a monster, just big dudes, and Sosa obviously behind the dish, who's a pretty stocky, pretty good size guy. So yeah, just the size across the board is noticeably different. And I think Peralta was out in right field. The guy's shoulders are. Saw him in a couple football games. He's at all the football games, and shoulders a mile wide. He's jacked. Obviously, Mikey Torres is the exception at center fielder, but the freak.
He's strong too. He's just not the tallest guy.
Yeah, he's not the tallest guy. No, he's jacked. Then you got. I think it was it Galvin and or Derek Williams in left. I mean, they're just big guys in that. Copeland, I still don't know how to pronounce his first name. Maybe Sebastian can help out. Is it Sion?
Keon, right?
Keon. That's what James said.
That guy was. He was DH. He had some ABs while we were there, and he was. He's pretty jacked. Just different. Across the board, the whole lineup was much different from previous years.
I was talking to Alex DeGote, who played in the majors a couple of years ago, still playing pro ball, and he brother of Brandon DeGote, the shortstop for the Canes, and he was talking about Keon Copeland batting practice, that he was dropping some bombs out there. So Sebastian, just kind of your take, your first few viewing. Now that we talked, I think after the first fall ball scrimmage, but now you've seen a couple of these. You're at the FAU scrimmage. Just kind of big picture where you're at with what you're seeing this early.
Yes. Same thing as Jim. I mean, the body types, it's so night and day from last year, and it's not even limited to the starting lineup, right? You have freshmen, guys that are going to be kind of second in line, third in line, that are still big guys, big frame. There's a lot of just talent to be unlocked there, right? And I think that the thing I've enjoyed most seeing is there's a lot of aggressive swings. Like, these guys are looking to do damage. In the FAU scrimmage that I got there a bit late. I'll be honest, I got there a bit late. But in the first thing I was there, you got to see Cuvée drive a ball to dead center, right, for a sac fly to bring Ogden in. Next batter being Alex Sosa, the transfer from NC State. He proceeds to drive one opposite field to the wall. Keon Copeland takes another big hack right after that. I mean, it's really good to see these guys be aggressive this early in fall.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of line drives, man. They were hitting line drives. I think D-Money, you saw Cuvée hit a line shot literally off the scoreboard.
Yeah,
right?
I think he didn't hit one today, but from everyone I've been to and everyone I've heard, he's pretty much hit one every time they had one of these scrimmages. It feels like definitely the first one I went, the first day I was there, he knocked it off the scoreboard, and his development continues. I think his defense looks better. I think that was a big focus in coming back, trying to get ready for, then the draft it's amazing the timeline of these players where they now are getting drafted in middle of the season, towards the end of the season, and then boom, sorry, right after the season, I should say, middle of the MLB season, and then boom, they're in the majors like a year later. It's crazy, the accelerated timeline, but Cuvée, you could tell, is ramping up to potentially try to be that first round pick, the guy that gets to the bigs as fast as he can, and defense and third base is probably going to be his quickest path to get there, and not just be another right first baseman. And I think his defense looks better, his athleticism looks better, and the bat is, we know he's one of the best hitters in the country. So that's been there. I wanted to ask about the FAU scrimmage in particular, because I was not there. You're talking about the line drives. Any performers stand out to you at that FAU scrimmage? I'll start with Sebastian, and then Jim, go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to start with the guys on FAU, right? This was not like an easy matchup. They had some serious arms on FAU. Their starter, James Littman, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be a portal target for Miami next year, in all honesty, a freshman. And then you got a guy, Abatzi, I believe was his name, coming in later in the game, throwing up to 98. Like, these were no slouches that we were facing, and you got to see a lot of guys take quality swings, just aggressive line drives, as Jim was saying, like, throughout. And I think that guy that obviously stood out for me was Ogden at the top of the order. I mean, it's Ogden baseball, right? There's not much that I really need to say. Just gets his hits, steals bags, just does everything he can. And I think that him at the top of the order returning this year, if he can take that, if he could get any more out of that, I mean, you have one of the top leadoff hitters, shortstops in the ACC.
Yeah, he's got such a sweet swing, man, too. He really does. He's just a baseball player. You know what I mean? He looks the part. He plays the part. I mean, he's great at short. He's great at the plate, obviously, hitting leadoff. Yeah, man, he's just a stud. It's funny. Did you see Cephas? Cephas was there with Del Castillo, I think, too, right? There are a few MLB guys walking around.
Yeah, I was gonna go up to him and let him know that he's kind of carrying my MLB The Show team right now. His card in the game. I'm hitting like 400 something with it.
Yeah, it's fun. Dude, and you know what's funny? He's not that big. Like, you look at Cephas when you're up, he's like a smallish size guy. He does not look like an MLB first baseman, but again, he
uses his body very well in his swing. He really generates that power from that core, and just the torque on his swing. It's really nice.
Yeah, I heard JD once. He said he's never recruited like a hitter before, but when Gino was like the coach, he would always go look up at pitchers. But he saw Cephas play when Cephas was like a sophomore or something in high school, and he said, you got to offer this kid like ASAP. He's that good. He goes, this kid is just a hitter. And he was literally up watching a pitcher at some showcase or something, and he made the call to Gene. He's like, I have never done that, and he literally said, you gotta, like, this kid's ridiculous. That was a cool story.
I'll tell you, just from the scrimmages, because I was not able to go to the FAU scrimmage. Two names that jumped out to me from the young players: Alvarez, the catcher, number 37, Alonzo Alvarez from Brentwood, California, right there in Southern California. Big catcher. We had Nolan last year, who was a taller catcher. Tavares, a powerful, strong guy. This guy is tall and pretty strong. He had to hit a double today. I heard he hit a homer one of these other days that I wasn't there. He threw a couple guys out. His arm looked good. His demeanor looked good. If I'm comparing him to the catchers we had last year, the freshman catchers, which last year at this time, you not only had Tavares and Nolan Johnson, you also had Puig, who's kind of transitioning to potentially be a catcher. All those guys since left the program. Alvarez, to me, looks much further ahead than those guys at the same period. I think he could possibly help us this year. You do have a veteran backup catcher in Jackson Hugas. Of course, a starter in Sosa, who looks really good. He threw someone out today, too. Just a really good catcher room. I guess that's the big takeaway, is that the catcher room is better now, much less of a concern, and in fact, a strength compared to last year. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, think about who we've had as catchers, right? Sebastian, the last couple of years. I mean, none have been outstanding at the plate, right? I mean, Tanner Smith was not the best hitter. I think he did a little bit better than he did at Oregon State.
Stanton was a good hitter, but he didn't have the defense, I think. Sosa.
Yeah, but dude, this guy can hit. I mean, what's he hitting? Number 3 in the.
He'll be right behind Gray, I think.
Yeah, I think he was hitting 3 in the lineup. It was Ogden and then Cuvée, and then I think Sosa was up, because I remember my kid, my son Nathaniel's a catcher, so he was he was fist bumping. He was fist bumping. He's like, yeah, I'm a catcher too. He's my 10-year-old. So, but no, that guy's a stud. I mean, he's phenomenal at the plate. I mean, look what he did at NC State. But this Alvarez kid, you're right. He was he's a top 20, top 15 catcher in the country. I mean, he was almost a top 200 player on Perfect Game out of high school. So this kid's a stud, and he's a big, like you said, he's a big kid, long arms, just looks the part.
He was one that caught my eye, and then I think this is something I talked to all three of you, both of you guys about, is Milano.
Oh yeah,
Gabo. He bigger than I expected, just size wise. I always expected more of a middle infielder kind of body. He's strong. I don't know if he's gained weight. He's not fat at all. I mean, he's strong, but he's gained pounds and hitting like crazy. He made a nice play at third base today, spinning around, making a strong throw to first. So that's where I've seen him mostly, is at third base. Second base, more Degody. You see Van Sheehan and Ogden there in the middle as the middle infielders. But it seems like Milano, who I thought was going to be a middle infielder DH, he's been living at third behind Cuvée and really looking good. I don't know, you saw him in high school, Sebastian. What do you see with Milano?
Yeah, I mean, I think with both of these guys that we're talking about, right, they just kind of have that like freshman it factor, right? I mean, last year, you and I were probably the first two on Darius and Siskar, right? Like they just had that it factor. And I think this year, those two might be the two to kind of step up, but from a hitting perspective, right? And when I look at Milano, it's such an advanced hit tool as a freshman, in the sense that he's confident, right? And you could see the confidence not just in the swagger, but the way that he will take those outside pitches oppo. And when he gets that pitch inside, he's going to absolutely crank it, right? And that's something that you see a lot of freshman hitters really struggle with, because either they're trying to just put the ball in play, or just go for the kill shot and kind of just pull off everything, right? But he's able to stay through and drive, just a lot of line drives, hard ground balls. And even back to Alvarez, right? That's a switch hitting catcher, right? That's a rare commodity. And when you think of our catchers last year and in the fall scrimmages, the amount of times we talked about like defensive struggles, this guy's putting it together both at the plate and behind the plate. So he's not going to, I don't think he's going to pass Sosa by any means, but he's going to find a way to be a key part of this team in some shape or form.
Jim, before we get further, we always say you're one of the best friends Canes baseball has. You see all the degrees behind you. I've read about you on TMZ, right, and other publications like that with some celebrity clients. Let everybody know, on top of being the best friend that Canes baseball has, some of the big things that you're doing and some of the problems you can help people solve.
So obviously, we do a lot of SEC and white collar defense work, securities work, but we also do something that we don't advertise a lot. We do a lot of whistleblower work. So we've represented whistleblowers. We've got over 25 active. If government ever reopens, we've got 25 active whistleblower cases with the SEC right now. We've collected over $12 million in awards for whistleblower clients since we've started that practice. Really interesting area of our work. That's a little different from the traditional defense work. And obviously, we always represent, investors who've lost money with investment advisors and scams. And yep, there she is. That's going on my grave.
That's I'm trying to find your name here. There it is. Yeah, Haley's attorney, James Sallah, right there. Boom. TMZ. And not for anything bad. Usually when people are on TMZ, it's not good news.
Yeah, we shut down the investigation the SEC had going into Haley's coin meme coin debut, which, as I made it very clear to the regulators, was really just a image and likeness. She was not behind anything or anything like that, and we were able to convince the government of that after the rug pull on the coin and all the money was lost, and so they shut the investigation down as it related to her.
So we're just, if someone's seeing this, they have a problem that Jim might be able to help with, what's the easy way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so just reach out. We have offices in Miami, and I'm up in Boca and in New Jersey. Just that 561-989-9080. Guys can call anytime, and if you're really special, D will DM you my cell phone number on if you're ever jammed up and the FBI shows up at your door at 6 a.m. Get in touch with D Money, and he'll flip you my cell in the DM on CanesInSight.
Absolutely. That's a no-brainer. So back to the FAU scrimmage, because the days that I've been out there at the light, it's been more of your freshman pitchers than newer pitchers. From what I understand, the veterans, although I did see Siskar today, and he looked great, looked like himself, a lot of swing and miss, especially on the breaking ball. What you guys saw at the FAU, what like front line, like key either weekend guys or key bullpen guys, veteran guys, did you see out there, or anybody that caught your eye on the mound? And let's start with Sebastian.
Ryan Belka, by far. The Richmond transfer, I mean, he's up to 96. And from everyone that I've talked to, it's not even just the velo, it's his splitter, right? And that particularly just troubles hitters. And he's been, every time that I've seen him so far, which I believe is about 2 or 3 times so far, he's running it up 95, 96, really painting the corners, doesn't miss over the plate. And you could see a lot of his stats last year kind of just looked ridiculous, a 0.9 whip, 0.193 batting average against, but seeing it here in person, you get it, right? Obviously, that was against lower competition, but he's facing some top hitters that we have, right? And he's consistently able to mow them down. Had a really nice 5-out inning right against FAU this weekend, and I'm really excited for what he can bring.
Before Jim jumps in,
Tate, who was there when you got there, Sebastian? Who was pitching?
I believe Tate was pitching.
Okay, yeah, Tate got in a little bit of trouble in the first inning, but I thought I just hung some balls out there, and they got smoked. A guy got on base and double, and that we were down 2-0. But I thought he really was able to calm down, and in the second inning, he didn't give up any runs. I thought he did a really, really good job getting his composure back after a rough start, and settled down, and thought he did a good job. And then Jake Dorn came in and I thought you were there. You saw Jake Dorn pitch as well, didn't you? Thought he had
he was up to 92.
Dude, he had a phenomenal outing. It's nice to have he's a lefty, I think.
Yeah, let me ask about Dorn, because I want to ask about this.
He looked great, dude. He looked terrific.
Because Dorn is an interesting one to me, because when we saw him like around this time when he first got here, I remember thinking, maybe I didn't see anything like that we'd see immediately, right, that year. I thought down the road maybe. He ended up being a guy that helped us in the tournament to get lefties out. Then he goes to the Cape and does a phenomenal job there. I'll pull up his stats. I was shocked to see his production in summer ball and just how good he was. And just pulling up, so 6'5", that helps. 230 from Cooper City. Then you look at at Falmouth, which is I believe the same program we got Salta Lamacchia from. So there's some familiarity with Coach Salta Lamacchia. Only 2 games, but the 9 innings in those 2 games. So long relief. 1 ERA. Well, he started a game too. So he played 2 games, started 1. 1.00 ERA, 6 strikeouts, 3 balls. Really nice job. Again, limited action, of course, but did a nice job. Also played in what's this league called? VALL is Valley League.
Valley League,
which I'm not as familiar with, but he pitched 4 games there, 3 starts, 2.45 ERA, 18 Ks, 13 walks. So that's got to go down. But again, 2.45 ERA. So it seems like he did well in summer ball. He has the body. He's left-handed. Sebastian, number one, how has he improved since he first got here? And number 2, is this guy a potential starter with that size, or we think he's going to stay as kind of that lefty-only type of pitcher? Like, what is his potential role this year based on what he's doing since we last saw him?
So I'd say the biggest thing is obviously the velo jump, right? He was a guy that was coming off he was still in Tommy John recovery, like obviously not immediate Tommy John recovery, but still like getting his velo up. There was some times last year that he was kind of just sitting like 85, 87. And that's why many people really didn't expect him to be the contributor that he was. But obviously gets healthy, gets right in the weight room. He's up to 92 now, and that's not even his best pitch. It's this curveball lefty that really just makes hitters duck and makes them uncomfortable, right? I don't think he becomes that third starter we're kind of looking for right now. I think they'll be more comfortable with him in that long relief role. He's shown he can do it. He does it well. I don't think there's really any need to kind of move him off from there in a sense.
Jim, with Darius, they had the radar gun, right, at the scrimmage?
Yeah.
Where was he at velocity wise?
He was in the low 90s, I believe, low to mid 90s on his fastball. I thought he
kind of like where he was last year, basically.
Yeah. But remember, he's a young kid, and he's got another he's got another 6 months to work out with Soto and that, who I think has done a phenomenal job. Sebastian, you probably agree with just getting these kids stronger, more physical, as players, faster. So I'll be interested to see where he is in the spring. I didn't get to see Lachey, one of the guys I really wanted to see. I only
let me talk. Go ahead. I'm seeing you cut you off.
No. I mean, I didn't get to see him, but that was one of the guys I would really like to have seen, along with Rob, who I think you saw. And I think he had a pretty good outing when I think Eric and Sebastian were there last week. I think Cuvée hit a bomb off him, but other than that, I think he did pretty well. Rob Evans.
I want to talk about Lachey because I just saw him. Like as we record, this is Thursday. I just left the scrimmage, so he pitched today, and he was again someone I wanted to see. Pitched in the Cape, didn't have as much success as Dorn. Played more games, 10 games, 8.56 ERA. Obviously not where you want it to be. Only 9 strikeouts in 13.2 innings. But seeing him out here, and the results weren't phenomenal. Like he did get hit a little bit. His breaking ball, I think, got smashed a couple times by some of the better hitters on the team. But physically, he looked better, just more athletic, more comfortable. His velocity was up. He was in that 92 to 95 range. Let's say 92, 94, and then touching 95, which is, last time when we saw him this time last year, you were expecting like 97 at 98, right? Because that's what he had done when he became a prospect. Then he gets to Miami, and he was more in that like 88 to 91 range, which was kind of an eye opener. Now you're seeing him again, solidly 92, 94, touching 95, and this is only October 23rd. So I think the velocity's heading in the right direction. He did have some pretty nice breaking balls that got some swing and miss. Missed a couple, hung a couple. But overall, I am encouraged by what I saw today. And I don't know if that's, Sebastian, what you're hearing out in Lachey, if he's somebody that you think is maybe going in the right direction and continue to work hard and add to his game.
I got a question. How many innings did he pitch today? Because I wasn't able to go.
Yeah, I think everybody was 3. So the guys that I saw Lachey, Siskar, Dubovic, who I'm going to ask about in a second, who Jim has been telling me about forever. As a pitcher, he was pitching. And then Peralta. I think those were the 4 pitchers that I saw today were those 4.
So I would say that you talk about the velo trending up. I believe it was in the first scrimmage or one last week. He was 96, 97 in a 1-2 inning appearance, right? And that's what you want to see. I really want to be hopefully one of these days the scrimmages don't align with my classes so I can actually go. But I want to be able to take a video of his mechanics because there's a mechanical change that I talked about last time we did one of these shows.
Here, hold on. I pulled up. I'll send it to myself and pull it up. Just keep talking. I'll get it up right now. I took a video.
He's really getting into his legs, and I think that's something that, especially on the CanesInSight Ron Frazier Memorial Board, it's been talked about a lot when it comes to his mechanics and trying to kind of clean that up in a sense. And I think that a lot of people will be very excited to see the mechanical changes he's made in the sense that he's really loading into his legs and getting downhill. He's in a pre-coil, and it just looks so much more mechanically efficient. And I think that's a very good sign for his development, not only this year, but in the years to come.
All right, hold on. Let me pull this thing up here. Give me 1 second. I took a video. He went against Magana, and I should have taken it more for Magana because I hadn't seen him yet. But here we go. You guys see that? Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
All right, let's see this here. So go to the beginning. So this is Lachi against Magana. This was I don't know if it was a full count or there were 2 strikes. So this was a put away pitch. So here we go.
Wow.
So it's Magana.
I think that's Siskar on the mound.
Oh, sorry. I set the wrong video. It is Siskar.
I was about to say, it looks a lot.
When we're producing on the fly. Hold on. I have a Magana too. Give me a second.
I was like talking about all those like mechanical changes. I'm like, did he just become? Am I thinking about the wrong guy? Like, did he just become Siskar overnight? Like, but
this is why that's produce on the fly. But that was actually I was actually recording Magana swings. That's for those who are listening, wondering who I'm talking about. Mario Magana, who was a highly touted prospect out of Christopher Columbus, originally from Braddock, and a friend of mine coached him. So he wanted to see how he was doing. So that's why I sent those videos. Magana, very talented prospect, a little skinnier than I expected. I think he's going to benefit from the weight training and stuff. But obviously, you can see the talent there. But let me get this here. All right. This is on the fly producing at its finest.
Love it.
You don't got Pete to help you right now?
I'm dying without Pete. It's a lot easier. But here we go. There we go. Yeah, here we go. This is Lachi. All right. Yeah, a big kid for sure. Tell me this is the right player. Tell me I'm not pulling up like, I don't know, Randy Johnson or someone. Make sure I got the right guy here. All right. There's Lachi. That's number 99, right? We're in business.
Yeah.
There we go.
Who's this? Ogden?
This is Magana again.
Magana.
Yeah, you could see how he's really kind of sunk into that back leg before the pitch. And I think that it's allowing him to just be much more efficient with that push off rather than kind of up, right, and using all arm. And it's made a big difference for him.
What's that 92? See the velo up there.
Yeah, and that was on the lower end. I mean, he was really more 90. He was 92 on the bottom, 95 at the top, basically today.
You could see the pitch before was 94, right before it flipped.
Yep. So, I mean, Siskar obviously had a day too. He got Magana as well. Siskar got a lot of people. I mean, that breaking ball was tough to hit, and you know how he operates. He's so fast with everything he does. It's just so fun to watch.
I got to see him pitch. He guest pitched up here at the Summer League, up the South Florida Collegiate League, and he pitched right up here in Boca at Spanish River High when they played. I forgot who they played. Maybe the Makos, one of the other. There's a South Florida Wood Bat League, and it was great seeing him pitch up here. It was cool. My son bat played for the team he guest played for, so it was kind of cool.
Another guy that caught my attention today, and I wanted to ask Sebastian about someone in Jim you've been telling me about forever, because I know you follow high school recruiting closely, is Dylan Dubovic, who is the big boy. What's his number? Pulling up his numbers now. 6'4", 200 from American Heritage, was considered a draftable type of guy. Very good, kind of just toolsy player as far as the size, the athletic ability.
The number one velo in the country at the Perfect Game tournament. I think out of the outfield, from the outfield to I think it was 103 or 104 his junior year. Ironically, Mason Green, my favorite freshman coming in.
He had a hit today.
Number two velo from the outfield, same drill that they measure him on, same measurables. He was the number 2 in the country in that Perfect Game tournament.
He got a hit today. Both guys tall. I mean, you could see him from a mile away just because of the physical frames on those guys.
Dubovic is Toast from the Orange Bowl boy. That's his nephew. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah, I talked to him at the one of these booster things, and we were talking about that. But I seen him get hits in the scrimmages I went to earlier, maybe last week. He got a couple of hits, hit the ball hard. Didn't have as much success at the plate today, but he pitched. He punched out, I believe he punched out Galvin. He punched out some of our older players with some nice looking pitches, and the velocity was up at that 94. So he could throw it. He's got the size. He just looks athletic and tall on the mound because he's a very good athlete. Didn't have the best senior year, which allowed him to go to the University of Miami as opposed to getting drafted. But Sebastian, what are you hearing as far as do you think pitcher? Do you think hitter? Where do you think he might end up? Because I thought he looked good at pitcher today, to be honest.
He's just a great athlete.
Yeah, I think it's a clear sign about how important he is to their plans, right? That they're just trying to use him whatever way they can. And from what I've seen a bit more success at the plate, especially he's driven balls the other way, like that are hard hit, right? For extra bases. On the mound, you can see obviously the velocity's there, right? He just kind of struggles with that off speed sometimes. And when position players struggle, their fastballs tend to get flat, right? We talked about Alvarez hitting a home run earlier this show. I believe it was off Dubovik, right? Just a flat fastball, top of the zone. He crushed it. So just kind of just having, if they're going to focus on pitching for him, it's really about just developing the location, the off speeds. When I think of like a two-way guy, I know I think of a guy like Mikey Torres, right? Because just with all the arm talent that he has, I faced him in high school when he was pitching, right? His fastball wasn't flat whatsoever. It was a two-seam that was honestly, if he was put on the mound today, he would be an incredible left-handed pitcher for Miami. So just to be able to develop that little bit of it factor on your fastball, if he can do that, I mean, obviously we talk about the throwing velo from the outfield, that translates to the mound, and I think that whichever way they decide to kind of hone in, I don't think he'll continue to do both at the same time. They'll probably pick one way, but I think he could have success either way.
Yeah, by the way, just corrected. It was not Galvin that struck out. It was Alex Sosa. In case my guy David's watching, Galvin's dad. It was Alex Sosa. He struck out, but again, one of the better hitters on the team struck him out today. I know he was jacked up after that. Sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Sebastian, what do you do when you have a kid that's just a great baseball player that comes in that can, you say to yourself, okay, with this kid may be an ace pitcher in 18 months from now, but the kid's also, hitting jacks. How do you decide? How can you, because I assume, Little League, kids are playing in high school, you can play all sorts of positions. I mean, they had, Spanish River, Manuel Antigua's pitching for Florida State. He just pitched, he's a local kid in Boca, played shortstop mostly, and then would come in and pitch, they play everything. College, it's not like that. So what do you do as a coach or a coaching staff? How do you figure out is it based on needs? Is it based on things you see in a kid, and this is where he's got a higher ceiling here? What is it? It's always an
I think it's the value, right? Again, like I just mentioned with Mikey Torres, right? His defensive value in center field is so much more than his pitching, even if he's a great pitcher, because he's playing center field every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll save more runs than you'll save with him on the mound, right? And I think that unless you're a guy like, Shohei's the exception. Dude had a two-hitter with 3 home runs in a clinching game.
Right?
Yeah. I don't think that unless you're able to put up stat lines like that, like in college, you're really to struggle to do both. So I think that from what I've seen, right, I haven't been able to go to all the scrimmages, but every scrimmage I've been to, he's had some really nice swings, and I know that the pop is there with him. I think they kind of lean into that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man. These freshmen are very talented, very big, as we've talked about. Jalen Watkins, who's one of the smaller freshmen, the second baseman, I believe he's from Texas. He had a nice hit today. He looked pretty good too. So, no, it's an interesting group. Just thinking about Peralta. We talked about him before, Eric Peralta. I think the thing with him is going to be clearly having to throw strikes, because if he can throw strikes, with his release point being a little different, he's got a late breaking ball that's pretty good, and then the velocity he throws with just a huge presence on the mound. He looks like a football player.
He does. I saw the kid before the game just walking around. He is massive. Guy looks like he's 25 years old. He's not look like he's a freshman. I mean, just huge kid.
And you could tell by the way they're working with him, they really, really want to get him right. But there is some progress that needs to be made. But if he can throw strikes, which if it was that easy, everybody would do it. But his release point and the way it comes out of his hand, I think it's going to make it very, very tough, particularly for right-handed hitters, to deal with if he can get it over the plate in the strike zone as much as possible. Who else caught attention today?
Did Donovan Jeffrey get any play? That's another huge dude.
First base.
First baseman, yeah, freshman.
He's been playing a lot. He got punched out from, I believe, Siskar. Who's a tough matchup for anybody, but he's getting a lot of burn at first base. Greenhouse was out at right field.
Yeah, that's his position. Outfield.
Yeah. Then Torres had a nice double, right? So you want to see him swing the bat. Overall, it was a good day. Michael Taylor got nicked up, didn't he, in the scrimmage you went to? Is he okay, Sebastian? Is he going to be all right?
I haven't heard anything exactly. I'll try and look into it a bit more, but from what I've seen in the couple times he has pitched, it's just the long ball. He's given it up a couple times, so just trying to limit that will be the focus for him if he's healthy.
Yeah, just for those that don't know who we're talking about, Michael Taylor. This is the transfer from out west who righty cutter thrower, projects as potentially a pretty good bullpen piece there. Hope he's okay. But yeah, no, it's an exciting time, man.
Do you see some of the recruits there, Sebastian? They had Isaac Vidal, who's a commit. He's a thick guy, man. My son and his buddies went over to take a picture with him. They were afraid to go up to Cafus, but they went up to him because he was a high school player. My guys, go up to Cafus, man. He's in the MLB. Like, no, they were afraid, but they went up to Vidal and he was a nice kid, chatting up the boys and stuff. But he's a thick dude, man. I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah, and then we I believe
Rojas
our top player, yeah. And all the scouts were just kind of laughing because there's zero chance he makes it to campus.
Oh yeah, he was up with all his boys
and like that.
It was a good crowd though, Sebastian. I was surprised for a scrimmage like that.
That's why I was late. I mean, I got there thinking I'd be able to get some parking close to the stadium, and I'm like,
no.
I had to
it was like a game
lap around, and yeah, I had to park in my student parking. It was crazy.
It was impressive. I was shocked. I've never been to a scrimmage, a fall ball scrimmage where it was packed like that. They made the milkshakes too, man. The full menu, not just chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and J-Ro. They had the whole shebang.
Well, listen, man, the excitement's building. It's only October. We love talking baseball, so make sure you guys get ready, get your tickets, make plans to be following this team. If you're just watching this on your stream and you're looking to get into Canes baseball, please do, man. This team's going to be fun to watch. Last year's team was a lot of fun to watch. I see a lot of similarities just in terms of the way these guys are operating, but much bigger body types, much bigger players, and probably more upside, certainly at the plate with the way this team is being built. I mean, last time we were wondering if we're going to have a backup catcher. Now we got multiple guys that you're excited about. So just a team that's further along in a lot of facets, and it's going to be fun to cover. Thanks to Sallah Astarita and Cox for giving us that opportunity to do so. Jim, Sebastian, best in the business. You guys are awesome. Go Canes.
Go Canes.